Hello and welcome to another rocking episode of Gadgets and Gizmos. My name is not Rocky, my name is Gaurav Upreti. Now, Micromax under its sub-brand YU has launched another smartphone in the budget smartphone segment. It of course offers you great specs at a great price. You are the hope of the nation, my friend. All you need is nuts, guts and glory.
Micromax's subsidiary U has done pretty well for itself since it launched in late 2014. Over the last year, they have launched a slew of interesting products, but seemingly now the brand is ready to take things to the next level with their new smartphone, the Unicorn. The company believes this phone is so good that it can take on the likes of the superlative Xiaomi Redmi Note 3. So let's find out if this is the Unicorn that Micromax and you have been waiting for. Now, used phones have always promised great features for a very affordable price, and the Unicorn is no different. In fact, on the face of it, this could be their most power-packed phone. For starters, its build is absolutely fantastic. It's made out of a combination of aluminum, manganese and magnesium, and it feels rock solid, and the build quality is very good. This has got some really crazy horsepower. It's running the new MediaTek Helio P10 processor coupled with 4 GB of RAM, 32 GB of internal storage, which can be expanded using a micro SD card slot. Now, all of that converts to a lot of firepower, and the performance is just trouble-free, and more importantly, it doesn't get warm, be it while multitasking or while playing heavy-duty games. While doing so, Micromax has fitted this phone with a massive 4000 mAh battery, which basically would deliver you twice the battery life of an iPhone 6s. U is also doing a lot of stuff on the software side of things. They've come up with a new fork of Android, which they call Android on steroids. Yes, it's based on Android Lollipop, which is 2 years old, but it does a lot of cool stuff that even the latest version of Android doesn't do. For instance, there's a layer called Around You, which has been there before on Micromax branded phones, but now it works vastly better. Also, it has got a search bar inside the app drawer. There's a monochrome mode. There's a lot of cool stuff happening out here, and basically the phone is really nice to use. As is the case with most phones, everything is not hunky-dory with the Unicorn. For starters, it is a little bulky for what it is. Perhaps it's because of the fingerprint scanner, which is placed out here and which is of not much use apart from just scanning your fingerprint. Also, on the back, the camera is kind of disappointing. For this much, you get much better cameras. The Xiaomi Redmi Note 3 has a better camera, and if you pay a little more, the new Moto G4 Plus has a fantastic camera. The display feels a little washed out, and the biggest problem that I have with this phone is that it's running a 2-year-old version of Android. That doesn't cut it in 2016. But still, overall, it's a pretty pleasant phone to use, and it comes really close to the Xiaomi Redmi Note 3. But still, for rupees 13,500, if you put a gun to my head, I still go for the Redmi Note 3.
So just like every week, this week also the whole team decided to play hide and seek. Find me and give me work, else. Rohith, on the other hand, was doing his work very religiously. He was using the new Asus ROG Gaming Laptop, and he played games the whole week, man. That's all he does. And here is his review.
Not too long ago, we brought you a review of the ROG series gaming laptop. A decently performing machine, priced somewhere between a Tata Nano and a Mahindra electric car. Now this is the smaller cousin to that beast. There have been some compromises to get the price down, but let's see how this performs. There isn't much new in the design department to talk about here. It shares a similar design aesthetic to its elder kin, meaning a sturdy, well thought out construction that feels solid in the hand, except for the flimsy top lid. There's a beautiful UHD screen here that showcases great color and detail, but it seems to come at the cost of overall screen brightness. The real meat of the machine is the performance. The Core i7 desktop-grade CPU is paired with the GTX 960M GPU and generous amount of RAM. It performs really well running older games like Dota, which averaged around 70 FPS at max settings on 1080p. A round of Team Fortress 2 also yielded some positive results, but the laptop really begins to stutter when it comes to some newer games. A round of Black Ops 3 at max settings yielded frame rates around the 30 FPS mark.
Yo, you wanna see something cool? You should download that.
We had similar results in Doom, which had to be brought down to the lowest settings to get a playable frame rate. Surprisingly, it handled Rise of the Tomb Raider much better with DirectX 12 on and settings set to high.
Go back, Jonah! Get to shelter!
Now, as you can probably tell by now that this is not a bad machine, this is a decently performing one. The GTX 960M GPU on board performs decently on some newer games and really well on some older ones. It's enough to give you a 1080p 30 frames per second experience, but not enough to justify the 4K screen on here. Another problem with this laptop is the finish. This is a fingerprint magnet, enough to turn this into a small crime scene. Another problem that we frequently ran into while using the laptop on our laps like this is the fact that it generates a lot of heat, especially around this area. And like its older sibling, this also needs to be connected to power for it to use the GPU on board. Otherwise, it defaults to the Intel GPU. Now overall, this is not a bad machine. It's a decently performing machine, but it's just priced too high for our liking.
So Lakdi ki Kaathi mein Ghoda, and this week we have a new pair of headphones from a company called VModas. Take a look.
You know, a bad set of speakers or headphones can ruin even the greatest hits in musical history. And on the contrary, if you have a good set of headphones or speakers, even songs which are truly despisable can be played on loop. That's the power of a good audio output. Today I'm getting my hands on VModas LP2. Now this is a relatively new company. I've never tried anything by this company, and I'm quite intrigued to know whether it can make me digest Gaurav singing. Fingers crossed.
The main criterion for someone to buy headphones is sound, and VModas Crossfade LP2 aces this metric. It offers tight bass, a smooth and creamy mid-range, and a nuanced high-end response is the signature of the Crossfade LP2. It can handle any kind of music with gusto, be it smooth jazz, banging techno, or the thunder of heavy metal. Built out of metal, the Crossfade LP2 looks more like a headphone built for a fighter jet pilot than a layman, but it comfortably cocoons you in a sonic space where music reigns supreme. There is ample cushioning for your ears, and it dampens outdoor noise brilliantly without the pitfalls of an active noise cancellation system. It even offers a nylon wire which is tangle-free. The metal build quality is so firm that it can actually end up scratching and damaging other gadgets residing in your bag. For headphones of this class, they admittedly are a wee bit too bulky. But in the larger scheme of things, it is an equitable compromise considering the benefits of the sound quality delivered by these headphones.
So all in all, I'd just like to say that whether you're an audiophile or you can't tell the difference between Jagjit Singh and Eminem, it doesn't matter. These babies are not going to disappoint you. VModas LP2 did not disappoint in any genre. It offered superior sound quality across genres, and I was completely sold on them. The only thing is that you will need to be a little adventurous and invest 12,000 rupees in a brand that you don't know of. But if you're willing to go that extra mile, VModas is not going to disappoint.
Like the big Chinese brand has finally launched a successor to its popular Le 1S and Le Max smartphones. Now the company is quite popular in China for its hardware-free day, which, as the name suggests, means you get smartphones and televisions hardware-free. All you have to do is buy their content. Chinese company Leico has launched its new batch of super phones, the Le 2 and the Le Max 2 in India. Successors to the Le 1S and the Le Max, the Le 2 and the Le Max 2 were recently launched in China and have now made their way to India. While the Le 2 has been priced at 11,999, the largest sibling Le Max 2 will cost buyers Rs 22,999. The price of the phones include free entertainment content worth 4,990 for 1 year. The Le 2 is a successor to the Le 1S, features a 5.5-inch Full HD in-cell display with a 1.8 GHz deca-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 652 processor. There's 3 GB of RAM and 32 GB of eMMC 5.1 storage. At the back there is a 16 MP camera. On front you get an 8 megapixel camera, and the other features include a 3000 mAh battery with quick charge and 4G LTE support. And it will be available in rose gold and other color options. The Max 2 on the other hand features a 5.7-inch QHD bezel-less display, a 2.15 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon 820 64-bit quad-core processor and a whopping 6 GB RAM. There's 64 GB of internal storage, and the camera includes a 21 MP unit at the back and 8 MP snapper on the front. It's time for a gaming segment, and this week we review Uncharted. It's pretty cool, man. Been my favorite. Still is.
Right now, not a goddamn thing. Lost the signal.
Hey, you know what never loses signal?
The Uncharted franchise has long featured some of the best storytelling in all of gaming. But with Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, the series finds its great accomplishment. Nathan Drake's final adventure on the PlayStation 4 is a perfect send-off to a signature character, a goodbye that sets a new bar for cinematic gaming.
Where is the artifact?
To drag and age Nathan Drake from retirement, Naughty Dog had to introduce a brand new character, Nathan's older brother Sam, concocting a shared history on top of Uncharted 3's lore. It also had to construct a twist on the underlying mythology with a new narrative based around the exploits of the 7th century pirate Henry Avery. It also had to construct a twist on the underlying mythology with a new narrative based around the exploits of 17th century pirate Henry Avery and his legendary pirate colony of Libertalia. Uncharted 4 is a game about the high cost of obsession.
There's gotta be another way. I need you on this one.
Everyone from pirate founders of Libertalia to the first explorer who died hunting it down to the game's current day heroes and villains is subject to oppressive weight of their own unchecked ambition. As cautionary tales go, it's pretty nuanced and a surprising turn from the franchise's earlier entries, which treated Nathan Drake's unquenchable thirst for adventure and glory as something resembling a superpower.
Oh, mistake. It wasn't like that for once.
Technically, it's another Naughty Dog tour de force, demonstrating exactly how far can you push the PS4. Viewed close up, Drake, Sully, Sam, Alina and the other major characters demonstrate incredible levels of detail held by superb motion captured animation and what might be the most realistic skin effects you have seen in the video game to date. The transitions between action and cutscenes and back to action are instant, and that only adds to the immersion. At times such as during one-on-one showdown in a posh study room, Uncharted 4 is the most brilliant of gaming illusions, leaving you wondering whether you made that decision or decided the outcome of that battle, or the game itself was leading you down that path all along.
Are you ready to seek your fortune?
Rare is a story-driven game that makes the player feel as if they have agency. Even The Last of Us failed here. But in a great many moments, you get that feeling from Uncharted 4. As a game then, Uncharted 4 is very good, but not extraordinary.
Son of a bitch.
Looks like they found an old colony outpost.
Its heavy reliance on genre conventions and mechanisms, lifting objects, wheeling crates, negotiating crumbling platforms, is at the expense of player freedom, invention, and surprise. The driving sequences, though, they're definitely enjoyable, feel completely expendable, providing as much exciting exploratory potential as a Coventry Ring road system.
Still taking a long time.
Well, would you look?
In terms of game input, or what you actually get to do, Uncharted 4 feels very much like a series running low on fresh ideas and sometimes coasting on the petrol fumes of past glories. The mechanics are simple, drawing from the lines of Assassin's Creed and The Last of Us, letting you mark soldiers and find ways past them when they're not looking. It's one more move in Nathan Drake's quiver. It's one more move in Nathan Drake's quiver and one more way to keep gameplay from going stale. And gameplay never ever grows stale in Uncharted 4. From beginning to terrific end, Nathan Drake's final adventure keeps you invested and focused.
Oh, that kind of hurt.
And when it's all over, the last thing you want it to be is the end of this franchise.
Hang on!
The last year, the US Navy had announced their low-cost UAV swarming technology program, a program where they would make a launcher that would fire dozens of drones in the sky that would coordinate and swarm the enemies autonomously and kill them, of course. That's what drones do. Locust is essentially a system that can launch swarming UAVs to overwhelm the enemy and provide the Marines and sailors operating them with a massive tactical advantage. Now, the program acts in several stages. First, a tube-based launcher will fire a swarm of UAVs from a ship, aircraft, or any surface, for that matter, owing to the device's small footprint. Once airborne, the drones share information and coordinate an offense or a defense, each drone playing its allotted part. Now, all the toys that we buy for our kids coincidentally have this ability to kill. Toy guns, planes, cars, action figures, they are heroes. They kill enemies, so yeah. Now, there is another company that is putting the drones to good use. Good news, take a look. Zipline is a drone startup with a different take. The drone delivery service operates in one country, Rwanda, and it delivers medicines via unmanned aerial vehicle to places that are hard to reach by conventional means. The drone system is based on a fleet of 15 small aircraft, each with twin electric motors, a 3.5-pound payload, and an almost 8-foot wingspan. The system's speed makes it possible to maintain a cold chain, essentially a temperature-controlled supply chain needed to provide blood and vaccines, which is often not practical to establish in developing countries. When they reach the hospitals, they will not land but will drop small packages from a very low altitude. The supplies will fall on Earth, suspended by simple paper parachutes. The planes will then return to a home base where they will be prepared for a new mission by swapping in a new battery and snapping in a new flight plan stored in a SIM card. So that's all we have for you in this week's episode. We had more, but not time. We'll see you next week. You can always follow us on Twitter, and we'll be back with more of Gadgets and Gizmos. Take care.